Finally, we are ready to continue the adventures of George and Nico. Yesterday, or not yesterday, but last time I played, we went to a hospital as George. We found Marquette. We learned some things right before the costume killer came in and killed Marquette. And now we're on our way to the Croon Museum. So, hop on board. Who's this guy? He wasn't here before.
I beg your pardon. Are you André Lobineau?
That's me. You want my autograph?
No. I was told you may be able to help me.
What Wizard says
My
the
name
Croon
is George
Museum?
Stillborn. I'd like your
Yes.
professional opinion.
Well, okay. Shoot.
Does the name Montfaucon mean anything to you?
Sure. It was the most grisly spectacle in Paris until the Revolution.
A public toilet?
Montfaucon was the place of execution for many thousands. A dark temple of death, with row upon row of arches, each one framing a grim exhibit. Scores of rotting corpses swung on creaking rope, while the crows devoured their flesh.
That explains the image of the hanged man. I found a reference to Montfaucon in Ireland, in a village called Lochmarn.
Lochmarn? That's where Pegram was digging.
That's right. He'd left the excavation before I arrived. Do you know Pegram well?
Not really. I met him at a conference. I would have liked to talk to him in depth, but I didn't have time.
When was this?
Oh, back in the summer, July, I think.
Alright.
I'd like your opinion on a medieval manuscript.
Vraiment? Do you have it with you?
No, it's too fragile. And besides, there are certain people who'd stop at nothing to get their hands on it.
Intriguing. Do you have a copy of the text?
There isn't much, only a few Latin phrases. I was kind of hoping you'd help decipher the pictures.
Without seeing the manuscript, that's a tall order.
Just tell me one thing. What does the image of two men riding on the same horse suggest to you?
The Knights Templar.
Horsemen.
Does the Templar seal appear on this manuscript? I'd love to see that for myself.
I don't know.
The manuscript is being looked after by a friend.
In Paris?
Yeah, not far from here, in fact.
Well, just give me the address and I'll
Can we
come
trust
around
this
and
guy?
take a look.
I'm not so sure about that. Maybe I should check with her first.
A female friend?
Yeah, she's a woman. This friend who has the manuscript,
Oui, the anonymous girlfriend.
she lives at 361 Rue Jarry.
Ah, I know it well. I'll drop by. Just as soon as I can.
Oh no, I didn't want to tell him the address. Alright. Well,
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar?
I sure can, Georgie. Soldiers, diplomats, mercenaries, monks, bankers, you name it, the Templars fit the bill. The greatest fighting force in Christendom, the militia of Christ.
Jeez. How did the Templars get their name?
From the building in which they set up their headquarters. The King of Jerusalem gave them part of a mosque on the Temple Mount. It was said to have been the site of the original Temple of Solomon. The order became known first
Really
as the
now?
Knights of the Temple, and later as the Knights Templar.
You're a mine of information, Andre.
Glad to be of help, Georgie.
How come the Templars became so wealthy?
There was a constant stream of new recruits to their ranks, many from noble families. They were required to swear a sacred oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience. So, their money, goods, and lands were donated to the order. The Templars soon held land in France, Scotland, England, Spain, most of Europe, in fact. The poor Knights of Christ became the wealthiest power in Christendom.
Hmm.
Is it true the treasure of the Knights Templar was never found?
Ah, who knows? So little knowledge of what really happened remains. Or if it does, the truth has never been made public.
What do you mean by that?
The Templars have attained mythological status, like the King Arthur of the Britons. There are people even now who say the Templars still exist.
Poppycock.
Do you think that's likely?
No, not for a minute.
There are no Schottenjägers.
I think you ought to know that the tripod is going to be stolen.
The Lochman tripod? No.
It's true. I can give you a description of the thieves.
Before the supposed event has taken place,
I heard them planning the raid.
they're wasting their time. The tripod is protected by a state-of-the-art alarm system.
Well, don't say I didn't warn you. Why don't you loan the tripod to me for safekeeping?
Because I'd never see it again.
Well, don't you trust me?
It's not a question of trust, George. That tripod is hundreds of years old and extremely fragile.
I get your point.
Yes.
Have you ever heard of the Hashashin?
Why, yes, it was a radical Muslim sect whose name became synonymous with murder. It was formed in 11th century Persia, shortly before the Crusades.
At roughly the same time as the Templars.
Yes, they gave a new word to our language, Assassini, the assassins.
How did the assassins get their name?
From the legends surrounding the secrets of their initiation rites. A young man who sought to join the sect was given hashish until he drifted into dreams. He
Till he
awoke to find
drifted
himself
into
in a
dreams.
fabulous garden with everything he could wish for. The freshest water, the most delicious food, the choicest hash, and the most delectable women imaginable.
Cool. Do you have the address?
Delectable
I
women.
haven't finished the story.
Were they
There was
cannibals?
a price to pay for this taste of paradise.
Wouldn't you just know it?
The young man would wake the next day to find himself back in the real world. He was told that he'd been given a glimpse of the heaven reserved for holy martyrs. A heaven he would enjoy for eternity if he was willing to join the Hashashin.
What wizard says? Templars. Yep.
How did the assassins operate?
Well, as I explained, the new recruits would be only too willing to die for the cause. They'd be instructed in the use of the dagger, poisons, and disguise. Then, the Grand Master of the sect would name an enemy of Allah.
And they'd stop at nothing to eliminate that enemy.
You got it. They were fearless and deadly.
Does the cult of the assassins still exist?
Take a look around at the world today. You tell me.
Where was the site of Montfaucon?
To the northeast, near the Canal Saint-Martin, but there's nothing there now. The old gibbet was torn down during the Revolution.
How about this tissue? This soggy tissue. Oh no, that's not. This is the powdered plaster.
Do you recognize this white powder, Andre?
No,
Does the guy in this photograph look familiar to you?
no.
Take a look at this nose, Labinot.
It really doesn't interest me, Georgie.
How about this soggy tissue I found in the sewer?
What does this tissue mean to you?
Nothing.
Shake my hand.
I'd like to shake you by the hand, Andre.
Not now, Georgie.
How about this manhole cover removing device?
What do you make of this tool?
Interesting. Where did you get it?
From a dig in Paris.
Vraiment? I didn't realize there were any excavations in progress in the city.
Right.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Halamut is the name of the place where the Hashashin were based.
Where is it?
Somewhere in what used to be called Persia. I'm not too hot on modern geography, I'm afraid. The most recent map I have shows America as an English colony.
Okay.
What do you make of this ID card?
Nothing.
That is not a good idea.
What is that? Oh, that's the, that's the thing for taking somebody's, getting someone's blood pressure.
What do you make of this?
It's the biggest gemstone I've ever seen. Where did you
I
get
just carry it around in my back pocket.
From Professor Pegram's messenger boy.
Did Pegram find this on his dig?
Yeah, the site where this was found was a Templar castle. Do you think it could be part of the Templar treasure?
Oh, I shouldn't think so. You're not one of those crazies who think the Templars still exist, are you?
Well, I try to keep an open mind on the matter.
Right.
Thanks for your help, Andre.
You're welcome.
Leave it alone. That closet is over 3,000 years old.
Closet? It's a sarcophagus.
Alright, I have a feeling that, I need to find some way to stop the, thieves from stealing this tripod.
Attention! Please do not open the window, monsieur.
Don't you think it's kind of stuffy in here?
Better stuffy than dead.
What's the problem? Fumes from car exhausts?
Not just that, monsieur. There's a new burger bar opened up across the street. The Laughing Buffalo.
So what's the problem?
They cook their burgers on a charcoal grill. And the fat falls on the open flames. The amount of organic compound and smoke particles released is astounding. Since they opened, local air pollution has doubled. And it stinks like a funeral pyre. That is why I keep the windows closed.
Whatever you say, dude. Good. I am now hiding inside the sarcophagus.
Monsieur Lobineau.
Already, there just aren't enough hours in the day.
More than enough for me. I can't wait to get home and put my feet up.
Eh bien, see you tomorrow.
Good night, monsieur.
Well, can't say that security is the most stellar in this place. Which probably explains why it was so easy for these, criminals to come out.
Quit fooling around, you moron! Get your ass over here and bring that flashlight! What the? Who's there?
Let's get out of here!
Oops. Uh-oh. Well,
And when I woke up, I was at the police station. Luckily, I managed to persuade Rosso I was innocent.
Poor Georges.
What a mess. I bungled the whole thing.
I don't think so. You made a pretty good job of distracting those two crooks.
Yeah, but the killer got away with the tripod.
No, he didn't. He's not the only one who can dress up in costume.
You mean it was you who stole the tripod? Oh, hell, Nico. I could have been shot.
Those dogs are more likely to shoot their own feet.
I just wish you'd told me your plans. We're supposed to be in this together. And how come you dressed up like a pantomime cat?
Don't sulk, Georgie, please.
Oh, rats. And don't call me Georgie.
Oh, I really thought you'd be pleased. After all, we've got the tripod.
Alright, some guys... No, how about this guy?
Oh, by the way, I had a visit from André Lobineau.
Oh, yeah. I hope you didn't mind me giving him your address.
Not at all. It was lovely to see him again. He was over the moon when I showed him the manuscript. It's not often he gets that excited. He made a sketch of the knight's crest to take back to the museum. I believe he's identified the family who bear that crest.
I sure hope so.
Alright. Well,
I'd better get back to the quest.
I better get back to the quest indeed. Alright. Who's this guy?
Excuse me, officer. What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Les Templiers. Only that they were excommunicated in 1312 and hanged in their dozens within this very square.
Boy, what they teach in the police academy these days.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Reasonable. Wait, so now I just have this tripod hanging around in my pocket? Good.
Shouldn't you be off directing traffic or something?
You have seen the Parisian traffic, no?
Yeah, so?
I could direct the traffic. The most dangerous, the east side of Rome. Or I can sit here and enjoy the sun, the architecture, and the Sauvignon. Which would you choose?
Yeah, but I'm not a policeman. What happened to duty?
An excellent question, monsieur.
What happened to duty? What do you think of this tripod I swiped from the museum?
What do you know about medieval ironmongery? Have a look at this little baby.
A tripod? What is it for?
You mean you don't know?
No, monsieur. Nor do you, I think.
Fair enough. How about this pile of plaster powder?
Do you know what this is?
Aha! You Americans with your notorious nose candy. I read Hollywood Wives. I know all about it.
If you tried to sniff this stuff, you'd wall up your nostrils. It's plaster of Paris.
It is. Thank heaven. For one awful moment, I thought I might actually have to arrest somebody. Alors, the paperwork. You have no idea.
Have you seen this man before?
No. Who is it?
I believe him to be an international assassin.
Oh.
Is that all you can say? Oh.
I did wonder if I should say that I believe you to be an international paranoiac, but it didn't seem polite.
How about this red clown's nose? Haven't you heard of this spat of costume killings that's been going on?
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Aha! A prosthetic nose. Very significant.
It is?
No, I am just having a little joke.
How about this tissue that I found in the sewer?
What do you make of this grease paint stained tissue?
Delightful. Would you like to see some of my used tissues?
Hell no.
Then please put yours away.
That is a fair response.
Would you like to shake? I stopped myself barely in time. Electrocuting a cop would not have been smart. They'd rebuild the Bastille just so they could throw me in and throw away the key.
I guess so. How about this manhole cover remover?
Do you know what this is?
It's a sewer key.
Right you are. How about this matchbook?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
The pattern looks Middle Eastern.
How about this identification card?
Take a look at this.
Ah, an electrician.
Yep. May I take your blood pressure?
What do you think of this?
A blood pressure sleeve.
Right. How about this diamond that I like to carry around in my pants?
Look at this gem. What do you think?
Cut glass.
No, it's not. It's for real.
What kind of madman would go around waving a priceless gem under people's noses?
That is
So
a very good
either
question,
it's
sir.
glass or I'm mad? I didn't like to think about that for too long.
Yeah.
I'll
All
see you
right.
around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
All right.
I had no desire to talk to the crowd.
All right. How about this juggler?
Hey, you with the balls.
Oui,
How are you, sir? You are not a costume killer, are you?
How did you learn to be a juggler?
juggler? What is this juggler?
It's you. You juggle, that makes you a juggler.
No, I am a jongleur.
A jongler? What's that?
Mon Dieu! A jongleur is an artist, a master of the contragravitic aeroballetic mysteries. In
All right, whatever you
centuries
say, dude.
past, the courts of the crownheads of Europe had the jongleurs, witty, erudite men to whom the monarchs turned in their hours of need.
Wait a minute, wait. Let me get this straight. Our enemies are at the borders, plague ravages the land, and the peasants are revolting. Thank God we've got Chuckles the Jongler to throw his balls around. I don't think so.
What Wizard says, look at this gem. Isn't it neat? Don't you think my collection's complete?
That juggling doesn't look so difficult.
Oh, it does not, does it not? Perhaps you feel you could do better, no?
I'll give it a try.
Be my guest.
Sure. I'm sure George will be an excellent juggler.
I had no idea what I was doing. But this guy was obviously an idiot, so how difficult could it be? A lot more difficult than I thought. That's how difficult. Still, it was my big chance to be derided by complete strangers.
Not so easy after all, is it?
No, I guess not. Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Can you tell me anything about the Knights Templar, Mr. Juggle Man?
What do you know about the Knights Templar?
Le Templier? Ah, the last Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, was burnt on an island in the Seine in 1314.
Wow. You're pretty well educated for a juggler.
No, monsieur. I read it on that board over there.
Well, can you tell me anything about this, plaster?
Does this plaster interest you?
Well,
Forget it. Forget that I asked.
I'm guessing he also thought that it was, American nose candy.
Have you seen this man before?
no.
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
A clown?
No, if so, you would be a much better jongleur.
For a moment, an idea
That's
capered
probably
around
true.
near the spotlight of my attention, but fell down the pothole of abstraction before I could focus on it.
An idea, huh? Do I have to do something with this clown's nose? How about this tissue I found in the sewer?
Does this grease paint mean anything to you?
A red nose, and now grease paint. You are sure you are not a clown?
Well, I was distracted by the idea again. Caper, caper, caper. Plummet. Nope. Gone again.
Shake my hand, Mr. Jongleur.
It didn't seem right to fry somebody's palm when they make their living with their hands.
Oh, come on, George. How about this manhole cover removing device?
This gadget is a sewer key.
I do not want it. Thank you.
Well, I'm not selling it, I just wanted your opinion.
It is hardly my area of expertise.
How about this matchbook?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
You smoke.
No, I don't.
In that case, it means nothing to me.
How about this, electrician's ID card?
Does this lab pass mean anything to you?
You work in a lab.
No, try again.
You steal lab passes?
No. Well, not as a habit. This was a special case.
Yeah, of course. May I take your blood pressure, Mr. Jongleur?
What do you think of this?
It is a medical device, oui?
What do you think of this giant gem?
Feast your eyes on this.
Incroyable! Is it real?
I think so.
Some people believe that great gems always have curses upon them.
That is probably
Oh,
true.
that's garbage.
No.
Although, now that I think about it, both of the people who had this before me disappeared in mysterious circumstances. And the guy who was supposed to get this was shot and then murdered in his hospital bed. Do you want it?
No, thank you.
Well. How about this tripod I swiped from a museum?
I've got a medieval tripod.
And my Uncle Claude has hemorrhoids. So what?
You know what? I think me having a medieval tripod is a little bit more remarkable than your Uncle Lloyd's hemorrhoids, good sir. That is just my opinion.
Catch you later.
Au revoir, monsieur.
I couldn't open it with my bare hands.
That's why I have a sewer key.
Hey, hey you! What do you think you are doing? Leave that cover alone. Now,
Sorry, no harm intended.
you stay away from that.
Okay. Well, George said he had an idea when it came to his red clown nose. Not entirely sure what that idea was. I can't convince the cloud that... I cannot convince the crowd that I am a clown. Nor can I use the nose on the sewer cover. Don't know why that would do anything. But I cannot put the nose on myself.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
Look, a red nose.
Ah, you are a clown.
We've been through this.
A clown?
No.
For a moment, but fell down the pothole of it.
Right, he had an
Catch
idea.
you later.
I've shown it to the police officer as well, but let's try that again.
Hello again.
Hello again, monsieur.
Does this red nose mean anything to you?
Ah, you are a clown.
Do I look like a clown?
No, although you juggle like one. Now, if I'd known you were a clown, it would have been amusing, and not a humiliation for you.
What do you mean?
Who ever heard of a plain-clothes clown?
He had a point. So you're saying that if I juggle badly with a red nose, I'd be the king of comedy. But if I juggle badly without it...
You look like a pathetic loon. Oui, monsieur, you have it.
Alright. Well.
Does this red nose...
No.
Alright.
I'll see you around.
Oui, monsieur. I'll be there.
Okay. Time to try to juggle with this clown nose on.
Hi again.
Oui? What is it this time?
I'd like to have another try at juggling, please.
You have gone on a crash course, perhaps.
No. I just had an insight into presentation.
Huh?
Allow me to demonstrate. The balls, please.
If you insist on completing your humiliation, monsieur.
Okay, now for my secret weapon.
Everything becomes hilarious when you wear a false nose. That's what I learned from the movie Patch Adams.
The juggler was speechless with rage. You could have mistaken him for a mime. And without a word, he collected his balls and left in a fury. Hey, you forgot one of your balls. Hey! But he didn't hear. Better still,
Huh.
deprived of his entertainment,
Now it's my
the
ball.
gendarme decided maybe he ought to do some policing for a change.
Well, I've gotten rid of the clown and the policeman, so I can now go down into the sewers. Farewell, everyone.
If I wanted to get deeper into these catacombs, I was going to have to get onto that path. If the near edge hadn't crumbled away, I could have jumped it easily.
Alright. Not sure what I just did.
The hook lay in a bed of chain. The wall had flaked, and anything once written on it had long since gone. The inscription was hard to read, but I made out Templier and something about innocence. My medieval French isn't much, but the few words I understood seemed to say, "This is where the gallows used to stand." Maybe.
A painting of a hanged man.
I pushed against the door, but it seemed to be locked.
Damn. Seems like I have encountered some kind of a puzzle.
My medieval French, maybe.
Alright, so that's where the gallows stood. What was this again?
The inscription was hard to read, but I made out
Okay. Templars, innocence.
the wall had flaked. The wall seemed the inscription was undecipherable. I wondered why.
So, could I knock this wall down somehow?
It was time for some brutal destruction.
Good.
Hey, that's hollow! I'd poked a hole in an historical site. If any archaeologists came by, they'd lynch me for this.
Unlikely.
There was some sort of mechanism
would be
hidden
upset, though.
inside the wall, with a lever in the middle of it.
Alright. Let's try this.
Here goes. The secret door had jammed. I couldn't get through that gap.
Alright, maybe this chain is the secret to this. There we go. What was it? It says a puzzle. Yep, a puzzle. Good. More destruction.
Boy, had I ever made a mess of that door.
I sure did.
In the beginning was the end. An end wrought by our enemies began our darkness. In the end will be a beginning. An end to our enemies heralds our new day.
Report. The military establishments are in flux. The end of the Cold War has left them with no clear goal and as obvious targets for budgetary cuts. We have successfully promoted a sense of betrayal in the upper echelons. They feel that the politicians have cast them adrift. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Good. Mademoiselle?
Governments are giving the corporations more respect than their own citizens. A groundswell of dissatisfaction and dissidence is growing. The corporations are becoming too large and complex for their own executives to control them.
Yeesh.
A blind belief in market forces is accelerating this trend the world over. The
Calm down,
pattern
Bernie
is
Sanders.
emerging. Our time is now.
The global population's belief in those that govern it has never been lower. We have inculcated a sense of immediacy and action over forethought and planning in all the major governments. They are acting on hasty decisions that cannot be completed or revoked without appearing foolish. The pattern is emerging. Our time is now.
Excellent. The tired old governments are dying a slow death from their own incompetence and our machinations.
Is this like a meeting of the Koch
Professor.
brothers or something?
Where is the broken sword?
As we discussed last time, with the loss of the manuscript, our
it's that
search is as a
Russian dude.
corollary hindered.
And
Or that
as
Eastern European
discussed
dude
last
that won the
time,
Nobel Prize.
You have been furnished with a dramatically increased budget. What have you been doing with our money, Professor?
Oh no.
We are working on the principle that the Templars, that is to say, our predecessors,
Hold on. These are the Templars?
Yep.
must have left a trail when they were hiding the clues to the sword of Baphomet's location. I have a small army of historians and archaeologists ferreting out that trail.
I trust these historians and archaeologists are more trustworthy than your friend Pegram.
Pegram was loyal. He tried to protect the Lochmarn gem when the Hashashin came near.
And failed. And don't call that Syrian maniac the Hashashin. He's an assassin. Plain and simple.
That's not what he believes. He actually thinks.
Silence! Do I
Silence.
have to remind you that
a
we
good thing they're
have
speaking
a
English.
sacred duty, a trust? When Philippe attempted to destroy the Order, we lost the sword and our power with it. Now we have the opportunity to reforge it. But time is short. We need results, not petty bickering, not excuses. Now, Professor Baphomet.
Yes, of course. My apologies. We will find Baphomet and the sword, manuscript or no. We have already found another element actually within Paris.
Excellent. What is it?
Well, we're not exactly sure at present.
Ha!
But I have my best people working on it. You would do well
Top
not
men.
to criticize others, Eklund. At least I have not murdered one of our own.
Of course. That guy was the bogus doctor in the hospital.
Marquet
Yep.
was a liability.
There's
Eklund
in
dealt
fact
with him
many
on
costume
my
killers, not just
orders.
one.
I beg your pardon, Grandmaster. I did not mean
They
to.
are all part of this
Have
cult
you
of the
any
Templars.
good news for us, Professor?
We already know 3 of the elements. We know that Klausner had obtained the lens before he vanished.
Where was he?
Syria. We know that he arrived, but after that, nothing.
The assassin.
Oh, am I going to
I
Syria
feel
next?
so. It's a shame. Klausner was a good operative.
This will be our last meeting in person until we locate the sword of Baphomet. I
Better
hope
find
that
the
I
sword of
don't need
Baphomet
to
before they do.
emphasize the importance of finding it. Without it, our endeavors come to nothing. With the sword reforged, we will have the power to sweep the stage of all opposition the next time that we meet. It will be to become the princess of this world.
Wow.
Don't forget the lady, princesses, princes and princesses. Alright. What Wizard said, I'm a big fan of all the facial hair in this scene. Yep. It was pretty sweet. Alright. Well, let's head downstairs. What is this?
In the middle of the circle was a stump of stone, a shaft of daylight from the world above lancing down to touch it. There was a large circle marked out on the floor with a stump in the middle. Around the circle I could see words inlaid into the stone. On the circle's circumference were the Templar seal and 2 Latin phrases, Non omnis moriar and Clarior e tenebris. I shall not die completely, the brighter from the darkness. In the middle of the circle was a shaft of day.
Alright, well, if I've learned anything from Indiana Jones, I should
The
be
tripod's
able to...
feet fitted neatly into the notches on the top of the stump.
And then this gem.
The light falling from above struck the gem and scattered in 5 neat rays.
And each ray picked out a letter. Starting from the left, I could read
M-A-R-I-B. Marib. Now all I had to do was figure out what the heck that meant.
Nico, I've seen them.
Who?
The Templars. I spied on their meeting in the catacombs.
What Wizard says
And
they're
you
using the
saw the
gender-neutral
Knights
prince.
I saw a bunch of guys
I'm not sure if
masquerading as
prince is a
Templars.
gender-neutral
They're after
term,
something
although,
called
you know,
the
language
Sword
can
of
change, I
Baphomet.
guess.
The bogus doctor
I just
was
didn't
there.
think
the guy
this
who killed
game would
Marquet.
be the one to
manuscript is the key, just as we thought.
inspire
it
that
shows
change
the way
in the
to
English language.
the broken sword, whatever that is.
And how does the assassin fit into all this?
It is the name
He's
of this
out to
game,
stop them.
George.
These Neo-Templars, they're men and women in influential positions. Don't you see? Plantar was one of them.
Secretly
the assassin
lizards.
killed him for the manuscript, to stop them finding the sword.
But now we have got the manuscript.
Yes.
So, how do they hope to find the sword?
I don't know. They said something about a lens and a guy called Klausner who's gone to Syria. But they didn't seem to realize the significance of the very site of their meeting. You see, after they'd gone, I discovered a stone pedestal and a carved inscription. I set up the gem on the tripod, directly below a beam of light. The gem split the beam and lit the letters M-A-R-I-B.
Marib is a village in Syria. You're
Yes.
not thinking of going there yourself, are you?
Why not?
These guys are crazy and dangerous. That reminds me, you should leave the gem here.
Okay. What about the tripod?
I'll send it back to Andre, anonymously.
Alright, well.
Do you think I should go to Marib?
Syria is a long way, Georges.
I'll take that as a yes. I'm on my way to Syria. Aeroport. To Syria. Ba-da-da-da-dun. A few hours later. Oh, sweet. I am now in Syria. Alright. Hey there.
Hey there, young fella. Speak ye you the English?
Ah,
Speak
good.
you the Anglais?
George once again shows the highest level of cultural
Parlez-vous
sensitivity.
Anglais?
Yes, si, and indeed we, and rather better than you by the sound of it. My name is Nietzsche. Welcome to my grand emporium of quality.
Grand
merchandise.
Emporium. Alright. Tell me about this, your Grand Emporium.
So, this is your stand?
Oh, yes, sir. Though stand does not begin to do it justice. The finest in this bustling metropolis.
This is a bustling metropolis?
Well, not per se, no.
How much are those books there on the shelf?
Have you any Syrian pounds?
I think I might have a couple of Irish pund.
Then they're too expensive for you, sir.
You couldn't get your money exchanged, dude?
You speak very good English.
Thank you, sir. I learned from tapes that my uncle procured.
Oh, a language course.
No, sir. Jeeves and Wooster. Gussie, Fink, Noto, Aunt Agatha. What ho?
Alright. Do you know anything about this Templars cult that I've been chasing around the world?
Does the word Templar mean anything to you?
Templar. Templar. Templar! Why, yes, of course.
It does?
Yes. A splendid series of books by Mr. Leslie Chatteris, featuring the roguish Mr. Simon Templar.
Great. That's a real help, Nijo. Anything else?
The Saint television program, featuring Mr. Roger Moore of the quizzical eyebrow, and a
Roger Moore of the
man
quizzical
with a halo.
eyebrows. Alright. Nijo.
So all Templar means to you is Roger Moore.
I only watched it for the stick man with the halo. Bing! He was better animated.
You know, when I hear the word Templar, Roger Moore is the first thing I think of, too.
So I'm correct in saying that the word Templar doesn't mean much to you.
Well, there was the Order of Knights who were wiped out in an Inquisition in 1312, I suppose.
That's them. What else do you know?
Just how much information do you think there is on a Trivial Pursuit card?
A what?
From the medieval edition. We had it on the stand a couple of years ago. Ask me what a feuter is. Go on, I know all this stuff.
Never mind. Okay, forget about the Templars for a minute. What do you know about knights?
Like the Crusaders, they came to the East on an insane and pointless mission.
Yep,
They
that's a pretty good summary of the Crusaders
thousands
for you.
of lives, including their own, for insensate pride. How anyone can find them romantic confounds me.
Alright, tell me about this pile of powder
This plaster was
that I
very
somehow was
useful
able to
in
get
Ireland.
onto an airplane.
Really? Your fund of travelers' tales never ceases to enthrall me.
Have you seen this man before?
No, sir, I'm glad to say. Cold eyes.
How about this tissue I found in a Parisian sewer?
What do you make of this?
A man-sized double-ply tissue stained with Bestheimer's number 12 white pancake grease paint. Apparently.
Nice. I like this kid. Kid, shake my hand.
Here, shake hands, Nijo.
I'd rather not, sir.
Look at this. A lifting key as used by Parisian sewer workers.
Calais, Calais, sir. I must
Calais,
remember
Calais.
this day for posterity. My grandchildren will be fascinated.
Can't quite tell if he's being sarcastic or not. How about this matchbook?
What do you make of this?
Well, beyond the obvious, very little. That pattern seems very familiar, though.
Do you know the name Merlin?
I'm afraid not, old bean.
Old bean. Can I take your blood pressure, kid?
What can I do with a blood pressure gauge?
Don't tempt me to tell you, sir.
What do you think of this, eh?
Oh, sir, what a splendid plaything. One day, when I am rich, I am going to build a world-renowned collection of brightly colored balls.
Are you serious?
In deadly earnest. People will come from far and wide to see my
Yes?
collection. The Rockefellers and the Gettys can keep their hoards of so-called fine art. But answer me
Sure,
this.
kid.
What good is a Picasso, I ask you, if you cannot bounce it off a wall?
You may have a point. Seriously, do you really think this thing's so great?
Take it away, you tempter.
I'll swap it for something off your stand.
Due to seasonal financial considerations, I'm afraid I cannot.
I thought you wanted this thing.
I do, sir. This stand doesn't.
Which in translation meant it's not really my stand, and I'll be in big trouble if I swap anything for something that I want myself.
Alternatively, is there any service that you require?
Not at the moment, but I'll bear it in mind.
Ah, so I can get a service from this boy by giving him my clown's nose. Good.
So long,
All right.
Joe.
Poodle peep, sir.
Who should I talk to now? Who are these people?
Hello. I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, hi there, handsome. What can I do for you?
Hi, my name's George. I was just...
Well, it certainly is delightful to meet you, George.
I was...
My name's Mrs. Henderson, but you can call me Pearl, I'm sure.
Okay, Pearl. I was...
So nice to meet a friendly American face so far from home.
Pearl?
Yes, dear?
I was just wondering if you could help me.
Why, sure, precious.
Alright, do you know anything about these Knights Templar?
Have you ever heard of a group of knights called the Templars?
Sounds familiar. I remember. Dwayne had a book. The Holy Something and the Holy Something Else, I can't quite recall. I read a little of it.
And?
Seemed like a lot of hooey to me.
Fair enough. Alright, tell me about yourself, Mrs. Henderson.
So, tell me a little about yourself, Pearl.
Me? Oh, a gentleman's interest is always so flattering. Well, my husband and I run a greetings card company in a cute little place called Akron in Ohio.
Ah, Akron.
Cute? Little?
Yep.
Is
Okay.
your husband around, Pearl?
Well, as a matter of fact, yes, he is. Sorry to disappoint you.
Damn.
Have you talked to the boy on the bric-a-brac stand?
Oh, you've met him? His name's Nejo, you know. Oh, he's
Yep.
just so cute, I could die. I'd love to bundle him up and take him back to Ohio.
He
Gross.
might not thank you.
I'm looking for something ancient, you know. Something to impress the folks back home. The poor boy was trying to do his best, but we still haven't found anything.
I always find it kind of weird and very uncomfortable when people from America go to other countries and talk about wanting to take the children home with them. It is a thing that I have heard said on trips that I have taken out of the country, and it's always something that makes me very very queasy.
Do you know anything about medieval weaving?
I do a little needlework, but gosh.
It's okay. It was a long shot.
Mrs. Henderson, how about this bit of nose candy I have here?
I've got some plaster of Paris.
That's nice, dear.
Have you seen this man before?
No. A friend of yours?
No, not really.
T-Rex in an F-14 is now playing Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag. Good, T-Rex.
What do you make of this grease paint stained tissue?
Oh, it's grease paint. I thought somebody had gaudy taste in makeup.
Shake my hand, Mrs. Henderson.
I liked her too much to zap her with the buzzer.
Well, that's very nice of you, George.
Do you know what this is?
Lord, no. It looks painful, though.
It's a sewer key.
Who'd want to break into a sewer?
A fair question.
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
You're a philommenist?
Don't they have secret handshakes?
Oh, George, now you're teasing.
That's me.
Have you ever heard of anybody calling himself Merlin?
Merlin?
No, Merlin. Merlin. There's an O in there.
Moulin?
You haven't, have you?
No, darling. No Moulins.
Good old Moulin. Can I test your blood pressure, Mrs. Henderson?
What do you think of this?
Oh, looks scientific. It's a blood pressure thing, isn't it?
Yep.
What does this mean to you?
Gosh, is this some sort of psychological test?
No.
Oh, well in that case it's a red ball.
Goodbye, Mrs. Henderson.
I've got to go now, Pearl.
It's been a pleasure, George. Don't be a stranger.
I'm guessing that this is your husband here walking around. I'm gonna talk to him.
Hi, I was wondering whether you could help me.
Why, sure, son. Always got time for a fellow American. The name's Henderson. Dwayne Henderson.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. Henderson.
Hell, boy, I'm not in the office. Call me Dwayne.
Oh, okay. Dwayne? My name's
Nice,
George
nice
Stobart.
shorts there, Mr. Henderson. How about this mirror?
I saw a medieval picture of a woman.
Or picture,
royalty
whatever.
or nobility, something like that. She was looking in a mirror, but the reflection was of a man with 3 faces. What do you think of that?
I think you should be in therapy.
Do you think bulls have any significance around here?
Weird question, George. Nope, I don't think they have.
How about the Knights Templar?
Do you mind if I ask you an odd question?
Okay, but I might not answer it.
Do you know anything about the Templars?
The Knights Templar?
Yep.
Nope. Nothing at all.
Well, you knew they were an order of knights.
What I know and what I say are 2 different things, boy. I haven't lasted as long as I have in this business without knowing that.
In this business?
Sure. The greetings card business.
Oh, please.
Come on, dude. You can't tell me... I mean, you know something about these Knights Templar. Oy.
Does the image of a knight holding a crystal ball mean anything to you?
Hell no. What would a knight want with a hunk of glass?
I don't know. That's the prob.
What's wrong, boy?
It's not a crystal ball. It all came together in my head. What the conspirators had mentioned losing. The strange perspective of the manuscript. It's a lens.
Huh. Do you know this boy? I think his name is Nijo or something.
Have you talked to Nijo?
Nijo? He's the youngster on that junk stand, right? Yeah, we've met him. He's a smart kid. Speaks 4 languages, and he's never had a day's formal education. He should go far. Kept trying to peddle garbage on us, though.
You're not going to find much worthwhile around here.
I know that, and you know that. But try telling Pearl. She reckons there's antiquities in them there stands.
In them there stands. Well, Dwayne, tell me about yourself, dude.
You're a long way from home, Dwayne.
Could say the same about you, George.
Me? Well, I'm just sightseeing, that's all.
Without a camera? Kinda lax to come all this way and not take pictures. Mind if I take a picture of you, George?
What? Why?
Ow!
You could have warned me.
You don't mind, do you, George? The folks back home will be real interested.
I guess.
What exactly do you do, Dwayne?
He's in the greeting card business.
Oh, I run a greeting card company. Yep. We're based in Cleveland, Ohio.
Cleveland? Pearl said you're in Akron.
What was that?
Nothing. Just thinking out loud.
These people are a little suspicious, if you ask me.
Where is your wife, Dwayne?
Pearl? Oh, she's around, looking for bargains.
How long have you been married, Dwayne?
Hell, must be 30 years now.
All right. How about this American nose or Parisian nose candy?
Look, I've got some plaster of Paris.
Yeah, and I've got a picture of me shaking hands with George Bush. Of course, that was back in '76.
All right. This picture?
Have you seen this man before?
Maybe. Where'd you get it?
I just picked it up somewhere.
This man is the most
Sure.
cryptic.
I'm always picking up photos of complete strangers and then asking around.
Ow! Damn it!
There. I've got another picture of a complete stranger. Maybe I'll ask around about this one.
This guy is kind of pissing me off. I gotta say, I think I'm gonna wipe his face with a dirty tissue I found in the sewer.
What do you think of this grease paint stained tissue?
You've been hanging around with actors?
Alright.
Shake hands, Dwayne.
Why?
Just being friendly.
Let's just be friendly by keeping our hands to
Damn it.
ourselves.
You're bad at this,
Yeah?
George.
What do you make of this?
A manhole lifting key. So?
Hey, how come you recognize it?
Hey, how come you're carrying it?
Yeah, well, let's just drop the subject, shall we?
Why did you take it all the way to Syria?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Nothing. Nothing at all.
How about this electrician's ID card? Merlin.
Do you know the name Merlin?
Nope.
What was it says? This guy is great. Yeah, he's pretty good, I guess.
What do you think of this?
A blood pressure gauge? Why in blue blazes are you carrying that?
Good question.
I'm carrying it for a friend.
Alright. What Wizard says, this guy's just taking a dump on adventure game protagonists. I guess so.
What do you think of this?
It's a ball. Big deal.
Okay, well, I'll see you around, Dwayne.
Count on it, George.
Who's this guy who looks like he has a flag for a shirt?
Hi, what's your name, sir?
Hello, you buy kebab. Most good.
What do you make of this, sir?
You buy kebab. Yum, most good.
What do you think of this?
Buy kebab? Come to eat?
I'd value your opinion on this, sir.
La, you buy kebab. None?
I'm not sure how I feel about that.
I'd value your opinion on this, sir.
La, you buy kebab. None?
I'm trying to decide if this guy is an offensive stereotype or not.
Well, goodbye. Have a nice day.
Most good.
Alright. This guy looks trustworthy.
Muruba! Hello, sir!
Does this mean anything to you?
Yes, carpets, yes?
Alright, so maybe this guy isn't going to have the most to say either.
Does this mean anything to you?
Yes, carpets, yes?
Alright.
Ma'asalama!
The carpet seller had an impressive collection of wares. If I had the time and the money, I might have bought a couple of rugs. It was the pattern. I'd seen that pattern somewhere recently.
Oh, hey. It's this thing, isn't it? No?
Does this matchbook mean anything to you?
Ah! Give to me! Give to me! Allah move!
Aha. Well.
Many beneficent greetings, my most fortunate possible friend.
Possible
Huh?
friend.
Do I know you, mister?
No. And again I say, no. But, my friend, do you not see our mutual good fortune in this meeting?
How frank do you want me to be?
You are a traveler, yes?
Boy, you must be the world's greatest detective.
No. I am told that is Sherlock Holmes of the big forehead and slipper full of shag. I, as contrast, am world's greatest luxury taxi driver.
I can see where this is going.
I am Ultar, taxi driver and luxury guide per excellent. Yes.
This I had to hear.
Where does your heart desire to go. Simply mention the name to your obedient servant, and we shall fly there, swift as the eagle.
Oh, well, I don't really want to leave Marib yet, but I'm sure that if I do, you'll be the first to know.
Is good. You know where you want to go, you come to Ultar.
Thanks. See you around, Ultar.
Be having a pleasant day, full of shining experiences and happiness, my friend.
Alright, well, I think that is all that I have time for tonight. But, I'm sure that you'll join me again tomorrow for some more Broken Sword, Shadow of the Templars. Thank you for watching.